Let's discuss 11th August 2015 newspaper. Now, in this, the first article is related to democratic debate. Now, the media is a major source of information to the people, and also it generates the public opinion and acts an institution that bridges the gap between the people and governmental agencies. And this process, it generates a constructive debate. That is the reason why it has a role to function within the constitutional sphere and also in the democratic sphere. Now, in this context, Yaqub Memon, when he was hanged to death, then after that, various channels were issued the notices by the government of India. And now, the media and its ownership is a conflicting this thing. If you consider the media as under Article 19(1)(a), the freedom of speech to spread the message to the people, so it is the institution of a democracy. On the other hand, if you see media as a private institution, so which is run for the business purposes, then the government can impose necessary restrictions over here. So in any case, a free society is one where the governmental regulation on the media institutions are minimal. Now, in this context, that the government and the existing rules, they differentiate the print media and the electronic media separately. So, if you see the end purpose, both of them do the similar functions. That is, informing the public and bringing in a constructive debate about the words. Now, the print media, so if it may come late, but it has longevity. But electronic media, it is spontaneous, but longevity to the news will be missing in the electronic media. Now, in this context, a different set of rules, that is broadcasting rules, guiding the electronic media are too general. It can be used by the state to stifle various news channels that are delivering a content against its interest. Now, when they are serving the similar purpose, why they have to be discriminated? And why can't we have a common sphere of action, common sphere of regulation for these two agencies? This is what is being discussed over here. Now, in this context, the electronic media, on the other hand, the Hindu has changed its editorial stand with regard to electronic media. It was very critical when the electronic media was overreaching with regard to Nepal earthquake and also in the post-26/11 terrorist attacks. But however, now when the right to, freedom for information and freedom for a free society, it has to be defended, it brought the argument that the print media and electronic media, they are one and the same and they are equal with each other. And the next is Turkey's complicated war. Now understand that in Turkey, the Kurds, they are seen as, as an extremist elements from the days of Erdogan. Now, these Kurds, they are very much on front line in fight against ISIS. Now, in this context, the military, or the United States of America, it is giving the aerial support for the war which they are carrying on against the Islamic State. So now from this context, if you observe that the Turkey's extremist elements are getting the support from the most trusted ally of the Turkey, that is the United States of America. And the second thing is, on Turkey, the attacks are also increased from IS. So if you see this natural situation, the Kurds shall be seen as the friends of the Turkey. But however, the Kurds are minorities from very beginning in Turkey. Even if you see recent elections, the Kurds has got a sizable number of the seats, and the Erdogan party, it has lost significant number of seats with regard to the elections. In this context, if Turkey can mainstream the Kurds and the movement related to that, that can provide for a strong fight against the ISIS. So in this context, it can be suggested that the Turkey has to revisit its strategy and to fight against the IS, so the Quds and also American forces, and it has to work in close association with the Iran to achieve a comprehensive solution to the ongoing global problem. The next one is higher education. So this article, nothing significant is there. So what happened is, the allowing for the education at the higher level in the local medium. In Japan, the access to higher education has significantly increased after it made available in the local language. Now if you talk about the access to education, the privatization has limited the access to education. So now in this context, improving the public university network or making it financial friendly by providing access to the proper banking sector, and also by providing for a model as like in Australia and Canada to improve the financial access to the people to access the education, that is especially higher education. But expansion shall happen with quality. Expansion shall happen along with the quality. But however, when the quality, generally in India what happened in the last decade is, the expansion was very rapid, but it is of poor quality. And there is an excessive stress on excellence and institutions of excellence rather than on the good education that has to reach to the wider sections of the society. Now on the social front, the access is discriminately provided to different sections of the people. The scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, they had the minimal access to higher education when compared to the upper caste. And it becomes remarkable in the private institutions. And allowing for the foreign universities, can it be a solution to this? As private universities have come, as they have widened the situation or complicated the point of access, now the foreign universities are going to take it a next step. In this context, developing the global collaborations to improve the quality of education can be a better solution rather than inviting the foreign universities onto the Indian soil. Because already our quality human resources are minimal with higher education, and expansion of the foreign universities over here, it is going to further make the professors and tutors a competitive market, and the public universities will be much deprived of the qualitative resources. And the education also has to be made more relevant to the society and also needs of the industry, so that the citizen or individual can be educated to get employed. So these are the recommendations to improve the higher education. Now, the romance which is going on between Afghanistan and Pakistan, it appears to come to an end. Because recently, Mullah Omar's death was declared, and it has happened 2 years back. In spite of the leader's death, the Taliban is a great confrontist force in the Afghanistan. And the Murree talks, they did not lead to a logical conclusion. And added to that, the attacks on the soil of the Afghanistan are still continuing with the latest attack on the airport. So in this context, President Ashraf Ghani has strongly reacted to the role of the Pakistan and the cross-border terrorism that is operating on Afghanistan soil. According to him, the security of the people of Afghanistan and national interest of Afghanistan forms the foundation of relationship with Pakistan. If they are not getting protected properly, there is no point in continuing with it. So it means, it shows he tried to send a strong message when he has expanded the olive branch to the Pakistan by directly visiting the military headquarters and also maintaining a relationship with the civilian administration, which is rarest of its rare kind. And biodiesel, it was being sold at the selective pumps. So especially with the blending of the biodiesel is a long pending activity. We wanted to blend the biodiesel policy was existing from long back. The 5% of the diesel has to be blended with biodiesel. Now in this context, Pongamia pinnata, which is providing for certainty with regard to the biodiesel, because it's a shell of that particular plant. The seed, the shell over the seed, it has got high hydrocarbon content. But in India, the challenge is the supply is very less. The supply with regard to these things is very less. And next is important visit to a long-time ally. It is to the UAE. The Prime Minister is going to visit Dubai. So it is a visit. It is coming after Indira Gandhi in 1981. The visit of Indira Gandhi in 1981 has a special significance when the OPEC has, in relation to the OPEC, and also India was in the need of support from UAE with regard to its energy security is concerned. Now, the visit of Prime Minister, it can bring in a strategic engagement between one of the most powerful liberal society on the West Asia. Other than that, there is no much important thing. So now, a woman and their role in the society. From ancient days to today, if we compare the role of the woman, so she has a specific, or she has been constrained to a particular activity, especially on the religious front. If you take the Hinduism, the access of the woman to the temple and also employing the woman as priests in the temple was very much practiced in the ancient India. Especially you can see the signs of this in the early Vedic civilization. But however, from later Vedic times, the woman is relegated and various biological factors are taken into consideration to deprive the woman the necessary equality. And certain social practices are also developed in the temple system towards eliminating the rights and justice equal to the woman. Now, in Tamil Nadu, there is a temple, one mother, one family. So there is a slogan, one mother, one family, that is Melmaru Vatur or something, where woman priest can still exist. So in this context, the religion itself is seen as a discriminatory force based on the caste, based on the gender, etc. in Indian practice. So, other than that, this article has no much significance from the, you can take about Devadasi system in South India and also various practices, gender practices that are discriminating the gender. You try to take, you can think about those things over here. So these are about today's newspaper. Thank you very much.